Next up we have Molly Ellowitz, who's going to join us on stage. Would you like to stand or would you like a stool?
Pardon me?
You want to stand or you
I'll be glad to stand.
Oh, okay.
And if I can no longer stand, then I will sit.
Okay.
And if I can't sit, I will lie. Not that lie, the other one. Since I love the poetry that I heard, I'd just like to say, since we're talking a little about where we come from, I'm from New York City, the Bronx, where only the strong survive. It says so on a t-shirt I have. And that's where I got that from. And I was not sure what to read today. This poem, however, even though this audience is rather young for the most part, I'm going to read a poem.
Molly.
Pardon? Yes.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Well, I'm probably the oldest here. Don't even argue the point. But this poem is one I was challenged to write about growing old. And I'm going to read it first because it makes me feel good and I hope that you will like hearing it. Like skin, sunburned from too much exposure, blistered and peeling, my body gives up muscle to gravity. A glance in the mirror exposes new moles, brown spots on a face I thought would look like my mother's, stares back at me, and I see my grandfather in the mirror image. My knees need oiling. My fingers are triggers stuck in position until they snap out to send random missiles of spoon, fork, or glass to spill or strike aimlessly. The teeth I have left respond precariously. To a tedious regimen I dare not abandon. My left hip protests when it objects to thoughtless and independent moves. I can no longer cut my own toenails. They are like old branches, thick and gnarled, feet that have walked in many lands I thought I'd never see. Protest when I ask more of them than they are willing to tolerate. My hair is dusty with gray highlights. A mountain of memories begins to tumble, mix, and vanish. Old habits persist, ignoring years of effort to finally lose them. Sorry. I notice changes in my psyche that I value. I try to be modest when I notice the inner clarity I have gained. And when I make wise choices, I question fate and accept it at the same time. My address book gets thinner as friends and cousins leave for the place we cannot know. I envision my photographs, discarded. No one wants them. My papers are shredded and become refuse. Books I treasured are given or thrown away. Like a candle burning down into a pool of wax, the sight of all we know, a rose, a bee, a cup, the face of a friend, a lover. I shed the names and faces I cannot no longer remember. I practice saying, so what? Saying it matters gets the same result, plus angst. In the meantime, I drink pleasures and treasure them deeply. Water, coffee, kisses, your scent, soft pillows, ripe tomatoes, sardines, lavender, flowers, Vivaldi, candlelight and the moon rising, letters from old friends and emails and texts from new friends. The scent of ylang ylang and cinnamon and the photograph I took of you at the Grand Canyon. Books, Bach. I mourn the me who tried to save the world long after I learned it wasn't possible. I mourn the dancer, the clown, the poet, the actress, the piano student, the swimmer who reached beginner's level but refused to dive. I mourn the books on my shelves I haven't yet read, and those on my file lists of books to read. I begin each day with a prayer of gratitude for the gift of another morning to try my luck, using what I've learned so far. Poems are for courage, poems are for solace, poems echo through my life. I thank the muse and the poets who listened and found the words to give me moments of saying, aha. I shed negativity over and over again and rise to the call of life. I take the time of wisdom. I take the failure of the body. I spend the days in ways that matter to me. I thank the teachers who led me to this plateau where perspective is clearer. Don't want to save the world anymore. I want to be in the circle of where I am and give what I know, love what and whom I love, and keep reaching. So that's getting old. I can't say I practice all of that every day. I'd like to read a sestina I wrote to honor my Aunt Pearl, and that was quite a challenge. I'm working on another one, and for me that took some time. But this was my aunt, who was my second mother from the time I was 13. At table number 10, she sat with him, where now she sits alone at sorrow's edge. The strangers all about are strangers still. At 93, Max gave up all his years. Song over song he sang until his end, raising his voice above the infirm old. Each day she wonders when she grew old, remembering sunlit days she spent with him, dancing him lovingly away from his mortal end, keeping him from falling over the edge of despair, that cliff where for 4 years he clung, till her arm in his she kept him still. She wishes they could be together still. She rages as her fire grows dim and old. He used to sweeten tears of bitter years. She was both mother and dear child to him. Then he calmed her as she climbed raw nerve's edge toward flower mornings, warm noons, and day's ends. Her childhood days seemed not to have an end. At 83, her heart felt 16 still. Life spent in search for one at love's fine edge. Chose Max. With him she could grow old and erase miles of sorrows and lovers before him, who came to court her during all the years. She twists the ring which he had worn for years, his gift to her when his time neared its end. Life's giving force and breath grew weak in him, leaving her to face a time of testing still. She touches him, a photo of Max, 9 years old, and keeps him near her bed at table's edge. The lamp Max made sits on the table's edge, in a room she's called her home for 4 short years. Never fortune's child, today she's great and old, but spirited she does not fear the end of time, for now the time is more unreal, and still wherever liquid meets her glance, she sees him still. Her dance without him brought her to the edge of life, still longing and counting the years, short spent with him, the movie's at an end. I'd like to add a postscript to that. I don't usually do this, but she worked for MGM in their offices, and so did I when I was a teenager, wow. But she worked for them for many years, for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, with the roaring line that once appeared. So now I'm going to read something a little lighter, and I may end with that, or read a short one after. This one I've read before in Gulfport. Reading cookbooks. I want to tell you about vegetables, about soup, about the nights of reading cookbooks and never using them. The nights were too long to sleep. Waking dreams were miles away. It was back to what I could do. Fake life, fake food, Twinkies and halva, penny omelets, candy hidden in hampers, Hebrew National Franks served with Campbell beans, deli coleslaw, lobster sauce with no lobster. No cupcakes, rife with pastel icing for my daughters to take to school. I was busy mending torn places. The cookbooks occupy space away from the light. The soup still cooks on the back burner, my mother's flanken soup. Her barley vegetable soup for life. Chicken soup with egg noodles, the recipe for lentils monastery style in Dana's handwriting. On a lined page, the special ingredient you gave me. My whole life, love. The pot is filled. Sometimes it spills over. that's the end. I have two more poems. I have a few more, but one is short, and I'd like to read this to you. It was written for a Mother's Day gathering of women, some who had biological children and some who did not. And there might have been some men around. It's called, I don't have a title, but the first line is the title. We are all mothers to each other. One day I put my arm around your shoulder. You lean your head to my comfort. On another day you read a story to a little boy, our great-grandson. You mother stray cats. It's a shaky planet. I steady you and you support me. You cut through the mystery, the murkiness of problems. Your mathematical mind finds curatives for our aging community. You help heal the roots of need. You make chicken salad as only you can. I mean, with a love ingredient plus creativity and wit. And you sing your life to us with your spine and your heart. We perform, play. The concert goes on no matter what. What could be better than celebrating ourselves on this so-called Mother's Day?
Tijan, this dream's where you belong. Your golden journey.